You get exactly what you want from the premise of Stray. A cute cat going on adventures. Now the cat from Stray, good lord, that is a cat. That is the most cattest cat that's ever been in a video game. The movements were modeled off of real cats owned by the team. A hairless cat was used as a reference for creating animations, and the look of the cat was taken from a stray orange cat found under a car. Miko, the cat animator of the game, reviewed tons of pictures and videos in order to accurately capture how cats really move, and the results are stunning and unprecedented. These cats are so impeccably made that there are compilations of real-life house cats stopping to watch somebody play the game. Even its meows and cries are so real that it elicits a response from these onlookers. This is because it was straight up taken from a real cat. Go figure, right? You're going to be seeing a lot of this cat, so I thought it was important for you to know just how high quality it really is. The other thing you're going to see a lot of is the star of the game, the city. Fairly confined spaces, buildings pushed close together, very little space goes unused in this densely packed concrete jungle, which, by the way, is the most deserving of that title than any other place I've seen. The environment is inspired by the real-life city of Kowloon, Walled City. The city has a pretty dense history involving the British taking over Hong Kong and the Japanese invasion of World War II. Long story short, there were disputes over the ownership of Kowloon and confusion over how to actually regulate it as a result of past conflict. This gray period allowed an entire city to be built on top of an enclave, a maze of a city built to be several stories high with no consideration of planning. It created the most dense city in the world. Now what if that city was still standing and all of its people were just gone? In Stray, nobody except the robots they made are left. It really allows the city to take your full attention along with the cat. If nothing else, this game is beautiful to look at. The vibe is also added onto by the soundtrack. A calm ambiance is often added to most places you'll be traveling. Less of a focus on an actual melody, it prioritizes evoking a feeling. The wonder of wandering, the excitement of a chase, the relaxation of a familiar place. When a song is used in the context of the game's world, it's often cute, quaint, silly even. This contrasts with the grand importance of other tracks, and it really makes some areas feel safe. The soundtrack's composer,
Jan van der Kruisen,
did a phenomenal job. It makes moments a lot more meaningful, and his work is what sold me during the trailers. I've gotten this far in the video and I haven't even mentioned the gameplay or the story. It just goes to show you how important every piece is in creating Stray. Look at that. That's pretty. The game begins with you and your cat buddies relaxing in a concrete room with an open wall to listen to and watch the waterfall down from above. It's such a pretty picture, illuminated by the natural light of the sun, which will be important later. Playing, looking for food, you're all just living. It's amazing how they make the screen feel full just by having other cats wander around at different paces, getting distracted at different points. Makes you feel like you're a part of them without a word, or at least your cat character is a part of them. After this brief intro, your family comes to a particularly precarious jump. They make it across, but the pipe gives way to its age and rust. It buckles under your light weight and you tumble into the darkness, into the garbage below. Your goal is unspoken, but obvious. Get back to them. Below you start to see that city I mentioned, and the first thing you see is garbage, remnants of an old civilization embodied by what it threw away. And before you get there, you get a very detailed animation of your cat limping, trying to get back to its old pace. You'll enjoy details like this through the whole game, and it makes Stray all the more stunning. Moving forward, you see it. Tight spaces where everything is neatly compact. It's dirty, abandoned, but beautiful with its relatively efficient architecture and lingering neon signs dotting the buildings. Exploring, you'll see signs meant for you to guide you. With nothing else to do, you follow them, ignoring that a cat somehow understands written language, and eventually you meet these freaky little creatures. It looks like they're infesting the city, plaguing it, turning it into a nest for themselves. There's a lot of head crab adjacent monster designs out there, but this one is probably the cutest. They make little rubber ducky noises. Progressing, you'll start to see little puzzles. Nothing major, things like stop this fan with this bucket, use this paint can to break this window, unplug these little doodads. This will be the style of puzzle you see through the entire game. Simple and practical puzzles that shouldn't hold you up for longer than around half a minute. These, along with other miscellaneous activities like scratching a rug, knocking over bottles, interacting with things with the meow button, it really gives you the cat experience you probably bought the game for, and it's just a taste for now. There's much more to come. Following the signs leads you to a lab. After powering back on the machine, you find a little bot in a box. It turns on and it goes by B12. This little thing talks to the cat, but it's more so for the player. It feels off that a cat would be soaking in all this information it's given, but sure enough, it carries itself like it does now. Going through locations that B12 asks of it, heeding its warnings, understanding the importance of a code for a locked door. Of course, it's you doing all these things, but in the context of the story, it's really weird, but I'm willing to accept it for convenience. B12 opens up new opportunities in the story. Specifically, it allows you to interact with the remaining robot life in the city. You come across a settlement of bots, hiding away from those little creatures infesting the area. We learn they're called Zerk, and they eat almost everything, including metal. This leaves the bots in a state of panic when they meet you. All of them hide away except for what appears to be the leader, possibly sensing that you aren't a Zerk and that you can maybe be communicated with. Confirming your harmlessness, the bots come out, and when this happens, they all go back to doing what they were doing before. Studying music, watching their shops, cleaning, lounging, just going about their day. And this is the point where the game really starts to become an RPG more than anything. You have little optional objectives that you can go around the city completing. You're probably going to do a decent number of them too, just because it's not much of a hassle to do so, and you're probably going to be exploring anyway. It's cozy, and you really get a feel for what these bots go through just chilling down here, but you also understand how it could get stagnant. The area they've confined themselves to is like a block of space, piled high. It's big, but it's small, you feel me? I'm assuming if you bought this kind of game, you're the kind of person to smell the roses anyway, to look around and just take in the atmosphere. As you wander around, you discover a bit of the town's history, the bots that live there, and the story of the humans that died out long ago. With the knowledge that you're from the surface, a once dangerous place that this city was built as a response to, some robots help you on your journey to escape and free themselves from the underground. I can see how this story would have hit much harder when COVID was a much larger topic. I realize that I've explained quite a bit, but experiencing the game at your own pace really adds to it. This game isn't for everyone, and you might call it a walking simulator. There's no challenge, it's more so just an experience the story presents you from the perspective of a cat and letting you walk around and do cat things, which has some exceptional novelty value. There's also no spoken dialogue, which I happen to enjoy for this game. Also, let me say that this game is about 4 or 5 hours, and the amount of time that you just run or walk past something beautifully detailed is astounding. There's so much love that went into this game. Every few frames is a painting. It's as if the goal of the game was to allow the player to live in the concept art. I played a large portion of this game with my kid's sister. This is the kind of game you can show to your mom that doesn't get video games, if you want to share your hobby in some small, filtered way. It's very approachable and playable at all ages. All that being said, this is a relatively expensive experience for the amount of time you'll be playing. $30 at full price. I didn't want to buy it, I borrowed it from a friend. I was fairly sick for a few weeks, and it's why I haven't released a video in a while. When I started to get better, I played Stray. It was a lovely game to recover to, and a good one to make a video on to get adjusted again. I really enjoyed it. And if you have the time and money, I hope you do too. I'm Frogwater. Thanks for watching. Expect more videos in the future at a better rate than the last 2 months, and have a good one.